So my name is Topher Olsen, the Senior Director of Learning and Development at Alliance Residential. And my background actually is that of theater, specifically theater education. My first master's is in creative drama and children's theater. And I think what that's been able to help me with in terms of developing content is really providing good storylines, good through lines that really make the content very engaging, right? Taking that idea of beginning, middle, and end and putting that into content, whether it be compliance or anything else, it really helps engage the listener and really make the content relevant.
No, I haven't found an apartment yet. I've been talking to this guy from Alliance Residential. You know what? Mom, he's calling me. Let me call you back.
Hello, it's me. I was wondering if after all these calls you'd like to meet to go over everything.
My name is DeGroot. I am the Director of Associate Experience here at Alliance, and my background really stems from a heavy sales influence. I've been in the multifamily industry for several years and started off working at our apartment communities. And from there, I moved into a corporate role and took on more of a mentoring and developing approach to my corporate position. And now I really take into account the associate experience, see where there's culture gaps or learning needs, and help to bring that to learning content and find things that really dive into that engagement.
So the biggest challenge that we faced at Alliance was that there was a lot of information in three disparate kind of forms. So first of all, we had our learning management system, a very traditional LMS, where people were not excited about learning, right? They would go there on an annual basis to take kind of their compliance training, and that was it. Or maybe you're a new associate to Alliance and you would do your onboarding, you would get through that training in the first couple of weeks, and then basically you wouldn't be, learning anything until the following year. The second area was that we had a very antiquated intranet system that had all of our policies and procedures, but the challenge is that this was a system that had been kind of homegrown over several years, and a lot of information was in there, but it was not very actionable, right? It was outdated, it was very hard to search, it was really hard to find the relevant content that would really help an associate do their job better. And then finally, the third platform was basically just your email, right? Our associates were being inundated with updates and announcements and policies and procedures coming from the corporate support department all into their inbox. And we all know that we're all inundated with email on a daily basis from all the other things that we have to do our job, much less all of these corporate kind of initiatives. What we wanted to do is bring these three channels together. So information, communication, policies and procedures, and learning all into one place where the learner could very easily engage with the information and then share that information and then learn from it to do their job in their workflow.
So one of the challenges that we had with our previous way of delivering learning content was that we had to maximize our new hire experience. We had our associates start, and there was a lot of information that we needed them to know, and we had a short window of when they would actually engage with our LMS platform. So a new hire experience would look like about 24 hours of onboarding training, a lot of it, sitting there for a few hours at a time in order to complete the required courses. And we knew that didn't really affect that retention. They would not be able to remember all of that information, which, kind of defeats the purpose of all the training that we were able to provide, even though it was wonderful, fantastic training. And then the other challenge that we had with our learning and our news and company intranet being separate platforms was there was a lot of miscommunication.
As I was looking at the landscape of learning over the past several years, a couple of things came to fruition, and that is basically bite-sized learning in the workflow of the associate. And then in addition to that, the idea of being able to leverage the knowledge and skills and abilities of all of your associates across the organization into some kind of channel. So what we did is we put together a full RFP. We looked at 20 different platforms. We narrowed it down to 10 that all did demos. And to be quite honest, many of them were really learning management systems that were trying to disguise themselves as a social learning platform, and they were really falling short because they did not have that ability for associates to engage with each other. The social component was really important to us because we had heard for a very long time that our associates they felt like they were on an island. And then conversely, we would see every once in a while on various other platforms like Instagram or Facebook, somebody had this really great idea that they were posting, but not everybody had the ability to see that. Well, as learning and development professionals, right, we can bring a lot to the table, but we are not in the everyday practice of doing what our associates do. So by having some kind of platform where our associates could share their knowledge with each other, it really made it so much more powerful, because now instead of having a learning and development team of 8, I now have a learning and development team of 4,008, right? That we can all bring their experiences together and really share their best practices with each other.
So during COVID-19, it was important for us as an organization to realize the impact it had on our associates. We're considered essential workers. We're offering shelter and homes for our residents. And with that, it was unknown territory where policies and laws and regulations were changing in each state across the country. All the time, every day there was new updates. And for our associates, it was critical that we were providing them the support to be able to handle these conversations and understand what is going to change in the workflow. And Fuse gave us a way to package that information in a way that was easy to find, refer back to whenever they had a question, ask questions from our teams, and really help navigate through that process. We took some inspiration from some news sites like CNN, and when you're watching the news during a pandemic, you kind of see how information's presented. So we did a breaking news banner on our homepage that scrolled new information as we had it to keep that relevant and upfront for our associates. We also maximized Fuse's ability to create topics where we had pieces of content and resources and important policy updates spread out and categorized, so it was organized, it was succinct, and it was easy for our associates to find. And kind of the win here is we did a check-in survey with our associates during the crisis to let them know that we're here for you, we're listening. And we had organically about 1,600 responses without really any promotion of the survey other than just being in Fuse. It was the most responses we've ever got on one of our employee surveys. And from that, 86% of our associates that participated said that they felt like they were informed and they had enough information during the pandemic. And it was a big win for us to know that Fuse played a part in that.
Fuse has been instrumental in us getting the information, the most relevant content out there, being able to notify people, at a very steady cadence to ensure that they have what they need to be successful.